Why so serious?
When I was 10 years old, I was using a magnifying glass to light a bunch of ants on fire when all of a sudden the grass caught fire, and so I ran away because I didn't want to burn alive. However, it turns out the fire ended up spreading to multiple houses in that neighborhood, and one of the victims was my school teacher, who had a massive guyat but was also kinda mean to me. And so I paid my respects by visiting the house and hitting the gritty on her burnt ashes. Anyways, the other day I asked you guys for your own dark secrets. One time when I was about 10 years old, I hated my uncle so badly that I wanted to destroy him. He was like 65 or 67 years old. 67 years old. 67. He can't walk straight, so when he was descending the stairs one time, I pushed him lightly so he wouldn't feel the hands on his back, and when he fell, I blamed it on the slippery wood. He now has a tumor in his head that developed from the stress I caused him. Bro, what did your uncle even do for you to hate him that badly? You could have killed him, but I guess you've sort of like indirectly killed him because now he has cancer in his head. But you could have broken both of his legs, his arms and everything. But wait, how is your uncle 65 years old? Isn't that like grandparent age? Like he should be a grandpa. Are you sure that's your uncle? How is your dad like in his 50s and you're 10 years old? So your dad birthed you when he was like 40 years old? That seems a bit... That seems a bit old. But how is it even possible to push someone so lightly that they don't feel the hands on their back, yet it is still powerful enough to actually, make them fall down the stairs? I don't think that's even possible. I guarantee he felt your hands on his back, but he was just keeping quiet so that you wouldn't get into trouble. Because you were 10 years old, he didn't want you to go to jail at that age. But yeah, this one's slightly dark. I don't know whether the uncle deserved that. Alright, so basically I used to love the sea. I'm talking about staying 5 hours straight in the water when I went there every single day of holiday. Until one day I was probably 12 or 13. This random guy, probably 40 years old, starts swimming near my direction. I splashed him on accident, but I guess that must have really pissed him off because he swam towards me, grabbed my shoulders, and started drowning me. My parents were probably at the bar of the beach we were in, so they didn't notice. I ended up at the hospital for a few days since he kept me there until I blacked out. I still have memory loss problems. Since then, I've been extremely scared of the sea or anything involving swimming, and nobody but my parents know. My friends gave up on trying to convince me, and I'm scared to tell them the truth. Damn, this is a little bit dark. So some random 40-year-old overweight uncle just started drowning you for no reason? Like, okay, like maybe he got a little bit pissed off because he got splashed, but like, bro, it's just water. How can a 40-year-old guy get pissed off by like someone just splashing water at them? Because it's the summer. Isn't it good when you get water splashed on you because like you can cool down? Maybe he just had like a massive ego or something. Like his ego was even bigger than like the peak of the, like, what is it, the low taper fade mean? Or maybe you got the water into his eyes and he just had like anger management issues. But here's the thing, okay? So I don't mean to gaslight you or anything, but like I've noticed that you have memory loss problems now, and your parents would have known that you went to the hospital because they would have taken you to the hospital. And so they would have known that you somehow drowned, like whether you like drowned naturally or whether like the 40-year-old dude like drowned you. And so I think there's a chance that perhaps like there wasn't a 40-year-old dude here. Like perhaps you drowned because of the waves, and then when you woke up you had memory loss problems that made you sort of believe that like there was like a man there drowning you. But honestly, I don't know, like that's just a random theory. I'm sure you're telling the truth here. Like I'm sure there actually was like a 40-year-old dude here, but that's just like a possibility I was sort of like thinking about. But yeah, honestly, bro, this situation would be actually scary. Like 12 or 13 and you get drowned like until you black out. So if I was in this situation, I would actually be scared. When I was 10, I pushed my cousin into the pool knowing damn well he couldn't swim. Everyone thought it was just kids messing around, but I stood there watching him sink. He didn't just choke on water, he legit had to be dragged out unconscious and rushed to the hospital. My whole family was panicking while I was just sitting there eating chips like nothing happened. And every time I see the scar on his face from the oxygen mask, I remember that moment and I laugh. What the frick is wrong with you? You are a psychopath. This is not normal behavior. Like, you were 10 years old, yeah, but that still doesn't excuse you trying to intentionally drown your cousin. Like, he legit drowned to the point where he was unconscious. And you think this is funny? You think this is a joke? You think you're some sort of like alpha wolf because of this? Bro, you are not Sigma. I hate to break it to you, but drowning your cousin does not make you Sigma. But yeah, I think this is slightly dark. At least he didn't actually like die. So I love to kill bugs. No matter the area, I love to do so. When someone screams in class over something simple, I whip out my science textbook, thick by the way, and smash the insect. After the insect has been killed, I take out my set square, a geometry tool, and pick it up and put it in between one of my pages. Page 113, 114, 115, because I like the numbers. So far, I have spiders, moths, butterflies, cockroaches, and a singular mantis. A few months went by and my teacher said she wanted to correct our textbooks. This was surprising because the teacher usually only takes notebooks. I was on the first seat, so the teacher began to take everyone's books from there onwards. Me, knowing about the insects, didn't warn the teacher. Reminder, this is my collection, not meant to scare the teacher. When my teacher took the books home to correct them, her kid ate the insects, and her kid got salmonella. This is the same kid who ripped apart one of my friend's exam papers. I don't regret it. Bro, I don't know whether, like, the kid is the issue here. I think you might be the issue. What is wrong with you? So killing bugs, yeah, that's pretty normal, but collecting them into your science textbook? Who thinks of that? Because usually you're meant to collect bugs into sort of like these glass frames, like you're sort of like meant to hang them on the wall, but instead you just squish them in between the pages of your science textbook. Like your over 100-page textbook. You have spiders, moths, butterflies, cockroaches, bro. What are they meant to do there? They're just chilling in there, just completely squashed and damaged. Like, do you see these bugs? Notice how they are in perfect condition. They are intact, the wings are still functioning, the legs aren't broken. Meanwhile, your bugs in your textbook, they're gonna be like squashed beyond recognizability. You're not even gonna be able to recognize it's a spider. It's gonna have like three legs remaining. But also, why is your teacher taking the textbooks? Why would she possibly need to take textbooks? You don't write anything into textbooks, do you? Because you're meant to use the textbooks to have the questions and then you write the answers into notebooks. Why would she take the textbooks? And also, how is it possible to get salmonella from eating insects? I swear, wait, is that even possible? Oh, okay, yes, you actually can. Okay, so this is, yeah, a little bit concerning. Bro, I mean, I guess it's her fault for not controlling her kid. I don't know whether it's your fault that the kid got salmonella. Like, bro, if any kid looks at a dead squashed insect between a science textbook and decides to eat it, honestly, that's natural selection. Like, that's on them. Like, they can go and die. It's not your fault, honestly. So yeah, I'd honestly consider this calm, although I'm still also a little bit scared as well at the same time. Who keeps bugs in between their science textbook? One time a couple of years ago, I was at a sleepover with 3 of my friends and we were just goofing around when one of them asked if we should go outside. It was past midnight. I said sure because we had a trampoline in the backyard, but they meant out the front door, so I followed them so I wouldn't seem like a wuss. Around 20 minutes later, we were super lost and I'd left my phone at home, so I ran off without them and found my way home. Nobody has found them to this day. I still feel so bad, but nobody has ever accused me. Wait, so you abandoned your friends and they went missing and they're still missing since a couple of years. Bro, they might be dead. They are probably dead. They probably got kidnapped and killed, unfortunately. So there were 3 friends in total, and all 3 of them went missing, and you were the only one that survived because you were the only one that knew your way home because, like, they were sleeping over, like, at your own home. But I guess this is why you should try to avoid, like, you know, just lurking around the streets past midnight, because if anything happens, bro, there's, like, no one there to help you. Like, who's gonna be there at midnight ready to save you compared to, like, you know, like 12 p.m. in the afternoon on, like, a busy street? That is a kidnapper's best dream, for people to be, you know, just walking around at midnight with no one, like, to help them. But honestly, if you find yourself in this situation, let's just say you are forced to sort of, like, lurk the streets past midnight with your friends. I'm pretty sure in this situation, like, if you're lost, if you're all lost, I think the best thing is to just stick together, because 4 brains are better than 1. Like, you can probably figure out how to get out of that situation if you all, like, you know, combine all 4 of your brain cells together. But yeah, that's pretty unfortunate that your friends were never found ever again. So yeah, that is honestly a little bit dark, honestly. I killed my crush's hamster because she rejected me. Our teacher showed us a hamster that our classmate brought and it was owned by my crush. So that day I confessed to her and she made fun of me in front of my 30 classmates. So at the end of school, while she was packing her stuff, I left with the hamster and I diddled the brains out of that hamster and I left him dead in the cage. I have 0 regrets. Bro, do you think this is gonna change her mind? Do you think now that you've brutally diddled her hamster and killed her hamster, she's gonna change her mind and like, you know, like reciprocate her crush towards you? I think you've reached the point of no return. There is no way your crush is ever gonna give you a second chance. You just killed that innocent hamster purely because its owner didn't like you back? What did the hamster do, bro? The hamster didn't do anything. It was just owned by your crush. It had nothing to do with it. It's not like the hamster told your crush to, like, not like you back. But honestly, I don't think this is that dark. I think you are just mentally insane. I think it's calm in terms of darkness, but you actually need some help. Here's a dark secret I've hid for years. Once when I was in year 5, there was this girl in my class I absolutely hated because of how annoying and gross she was. And she would always snitch on other kids, including me, in class for the stupidest stuff known to mankind. She also lives close to my house, around 2 streets down the road. One day she snitched on me for eating literal chicken flavored chips. She hated chicken because of a condition she had called poultry meat allergy. I got in trouble and got a 2-day suspension for somehow bullying the poor girl, even though I didn't do anything. So after school that same day at around 4 p.m, I followed her home. She didn't see me following her. And when she walked inside her house, I grabbed a brick from her front garden and threw it into her front window. I heard a loud scream and I ran without hesitation back to my house. 2 days later, when I was back in school, we had an assembly in the auditorium first thing in the morning. It was about the girl who got her face crushed by a flying brick that came through her front lounge room window, killing her almost instantly within 10 seconds. The ambulance came, but it was too late. They said they are still looking for the person who did it. They must have not looked hard enough because they never found out it was me. To this day, I have absolutely zero regrets whatsoever and nobody knew it was me. Bro, you are a murderer. You are actually a murderer. Your actions led to that innocent girl's death. But actually, no offense, but I don't know whether she actually would have survived that long in the real world anyways, because what is a poultry meat allergy? So she can't eat chicken ever? Like, no chicken ever? Isn't chicken in like 90% of food recipes? And so if she didn't get a brick thrown into her face, she may have actually died a few years later from just accidentally eating chicken. But you somehow managed to get a 2-day suspension because you brought chicken flavored chips to school when you had no idea she had this allergy. Isn't chicken flavored chips literally the most popular flavor of chips? But yeah, honestly, okay, in all seriousness, like, what the frick are you doing? You shouldn't have done this to begin with. Like, first of all, you shouldn't have followed her home. That is like stalker behavior. And second of all, just because you're angry at something, it doesn't mean you're allowed to throw a brick through their window. Like, that's vandalism. That's what is it, like breaking and entering? Like, that's kind of assault. You've assaulted her house. And the fact that it led to her death is the cherry on top. So this is slightly dark. I don't know whether I'm scared of this, but yeah, this is slightly dark. When I was 7, I was playing with my sister on the trampoline. I was running around the outside of the safety net on the edge of the trampoline. Then she said that looked fun, so she started running around the edge of the trampoline. After a while, I went back inside the trampoline and started jumping. Then something happened inside of me. I just decided to push her. She then fell and got a small rock lodged into her ear that she needed to get surgery to remove. And to this day, she still has a scar, although she can't remember it, and my mother thinks it was an accident. Okay. I feel like a lot of people can relate to this, but yeah, it's still pretty messed up. But to be fair, you were 7 years old. I mean, okay, we're just gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. You weren't a psychopath. You were just a 7-year-old kid. So I think I understand what happened here. I think something similar has happened within my family as well. I think maybe I've done this to one of my siblings as well. But I don't think any of us ever walked on the outside of the trampoline. I think we only ever just pushed and shoved each other like within the inside of the net. So what happened here is that your sister climbed up here on the ladder, just started walking around the outside here. And while you were inside, you sort of just bull tackled her and she fell down. I mean, she was sort of asking for it, honestly. You said something happened inside of me. I feel like that is called... What is it called? It's called, what is it called? I think Jennifer Lawrence said something about this one. She said that when she's in the subway and she's just, like, standing on the edge of the subway, she always has, like, an urge to just push people onto the tracks. What is that called? What is that, like, sort of thing called? I think the same thing happened here, but instead of, restraining yourself, you actually, acted upon it. But honestly, this is a very relatable thing. This is calm. Honestly, it's calm. I actually love playing with guys' feelings. One time I met a pick-me guy on VR Hands. He was normal on there. We had this huge friend group in there, and in no time we added on Discord. Then it all started. He was acting too freaky and it wasn't fun anymore. Sending couples TikToks, romantic, and saying, I almost saved that photo of yours. Of course, I felt uncomfortable and confronted him in front of everyone, including strangers on the game. I had to leave to eat, but when I came back, I was spammed getting begged to join back because everyone was ganging up on him, which I found hilarious. It got to the point where I blocked him and he started threatening me that he'd bungee jump off a bridge without the rope. I honestly couldn't care less, but I crashed out on him some more and left like that. Now I'm bored and actually regret blocking him. I need more stuff to trash talk about him and wanted to see how bad things could get. Am I wrong for that? Bro, I think you are wrong for that. He said he wanted to bungee jump off a bridge without the rope, and you want to see how bad it can get? So you want to see whether he actually unalives himself? You are a little bit messed up, no offense. So you have this addiction of messing with guys' feelings. Okay, yeah, I feel like a lot of, I'm not gonna say a lot, maybe some women have that sort of thing. Like, they sort of like getting chased and pursued, but then they like it when they reject people and they think it's like funny and all that stuff. But I mean, yeah, this guy was an easy target for you. Like, I can see why you ended up, you know, like picking on this guy. Like, he's a very desperate person. Like, he's very easy to manipulate. I'm not saying it's a good thing to do. It's a bad thing to manipulate people, but like, yeah, this is very easy target. But luckily you blocked him and you sort of left him before he, you know, took things even further. But bro, you're saying you want to go back? No, do not go back. Do not go back. This is, I mean, this is only slightly dark, honestly. One time in my school, I had a girl, let's call her Raina. Raina is a very weird kid. Like, some students reported that she ate erasers, cockroaches, or even plastic. I don't know why, but she just does it. One day at school, my friend, let's call him Ray, was minding his own business, walking down the hallway, and Raina was just standing there holding a knife that was proven to be stolen from her father, holding a dog's head. Yeah, she killed a dog. And then she looked around and looked at Ray and started chasing him. Luckily, Ray is one of the fastest guys at my school, so yeah, he just outruns her and told the principal. After that, I don't know what happened, but I talked to Ray and he said that his house is not too far away from Raina's, and so he told me about everything she has done. She ate random things like erasers, poo, etc. Her family left her, like her dad, her mom, her sister, her brother, and they are moving to a different house. She once stared at Ray so intensely, like so creepy, looking like she wants to start a staring contest. Also, I heard she died after banging her head a lot of times, causing her head to open like split. Damn, Raina is definitely a bit of a nutcase. And she died after splitting her head open, just like how a nutcracker cracks open a nut, because she's actually nuts. She rocks up to school holding a dog's head. Bro, this is in Malaysia? I don't think it's legal to eat dogs anymore, so what did she do with the body? But yeah, if this is real, and if this isn't just like an urban legend, I think it's a little bit scary. It's honestly a little bit scary. I would hate to go to school with this type of person.